Welcome to Breaking Analysis and Debate TV. I am Professor Shakeel Abbasi, going to discuss Federal Budget of Pakistan for the year 2023-24, which was announced on 9th June 2023. Before I discuss different dimensions, positive and negative, of this budget, I think that it is very pertinent and very important to present the status or the health of the economy of Pakistan on the basis of statistics or the data released by Ministry of Finance in its two documents. One is Economic Survey of Pakistan, and other is the revised estimates of the budget for the year 2022-23. As per economic survey, you know that our GDP growth rate has fallen to 0.29%, and our GDP size has come down from 367 to just $341 billion. Likewise, our per capita income has shrunk to just 1,565 dollars from $1,768 of previous year. Saving has come down to 6% according to one estimate. No doubt economic survey has not shown this, but as per one information, it is 9%, and investment is 13% of the GDP. Likewise, our exports have fallen from 26 billion to 22 billion, that is 13% decrease. Imports have fallen from 64 billion to 46 billion dollars, that is 28% decrease. Likewise, our foreign remittances, main source of income, that is which is very important for our Sikh economy. They have decreased to 22 billion dollars per annum from 26, almost 13% decrease. For foreign exchange reserves of just 3 billion dollars, and hardly can meet the demand of even 15 days of Pakistan. This is the dejected, depressed picture as compared to our previous years, whereby 6% growth rate was 6%, GDP and per capita income increased. So every government attributes its poor performance to certain factors, and this government and finance minister ascribe this to the Russian and Ukraine war, and the previous government as well. And anyhow, they have the right, but this is not the right way. Main thing is that our economy is not standing at sound footing because of our dogism, our inept, irrational policies, and stepmotherly treatment which has been meted out to our economy. Anyhow, let us switch our actual debate, that is the budget. Whereas total size of the budget, that is total expenditures, estimated expenditures of the budget for the year 2023-24 are 14,460 billion rupees, means 14 trillion rupees. This is the size of the budget. and you should understand the budget. On the one side, as about budget, we say that government takes with one hand and spends with the other hand. So I have discussed the different kinds of the budget. I will not discuss here. Government has estimates regarding its revenues. On the revenue sides, on one hand, we have the revenues. Revenues are of two types: tax revenues and non-tax revenues. Federal tax revenues as per Constitution, NFC award. Some tax sources have been given to federal government, like income tax, like wealth tax, like custom duty, federal excise duty, etc. So these are the sources. The non-tax sources and non-tax sources. Non-tax sources are from levies, from penalties, from fines, from fees, from fee, etc. Different department charges, fares. Railway government runs different enterprises, schools, university, colleges, hospitals, etc. These are the non-tax resources, and tax non-tax resources. Then federal government collects these resources and then distribute these resources among the federating units. As per NFC award, 42% revenues from tax resources and non-tax resources are distributed among the provinces. Now the issue is that on the revenue side, our revenues are always less than the expenditures. Our total revenue for this year are estimated as 12,163 billion. 12,163 billion means 12 trillion. So these are the total or the gross revenues of a federal. Out of this, federal government gives share to the federating unit, that is 42%. Federal government is suggestive of giving 6,887 billion rupees to the federating units. So when we subtract this from 12,163, we get the net amount. That is the net revenue of the federal government for the year 2023-24. That is 6,887. So these are the total net resources which federal government is expecting. But what federal government is going to spend? Estimates about the expenditures are 14,460. So this is the budget deficit, the gap between the net revenues and net expenditures, which is equal to 7,573, which is called budget deficit. We believe in deficit budgeting. Actually means that we spend more than our revenues. So deficit is equal to 7,573 billion rupees, means 7 trillion rupees. So this is the deficit. How government manages to finance this deficit gap between revenues and expenditure? Definitely through deficit financing. Deficit financing means this is a technique to fill this void, the gap between revenues and expenditures. Our government manages this definitely from internal resources and external resources. And here we have the net non-bank borrowing. Non-bank borrowing within the country, for example, bonds, etc. And commercial borrowing, bank borrowing, government borrows from the commercial banks, from the state bank and commercial banks. So this is bank and non-bank borrowing. Then net external from multilateral sources, from Asian Development Bank, IMF, from World Bank, and bilateral sources from America, UAE, Saudi, China, etc. These are the bilateral. Then there is another source that is issuing the sukuk bonds, etc. So these are the liabilities. So another source is bank borrowing, non-bank borrowing, net external borrowing, and then another source for the so many years which is shown in the budget is that is the privatization proceeds. The nationalization which took place in 1970s, those units are being denationalized, privatized, and here the amount shown is just $15 billion as compared to $96 billion of previous year. So objection is that why we are making deficit financing. Economists are of the view that for the sake of economic development, for more aggregate demand to boost the economy, so we spend more than our revenues. But here, let me say that we should, our economic managers, as per Dr. Mehbullah's 7 sins of our development planners, we are committing this as sins. So gap between the revenue and expenditure is very high, which is equal to 7,573, and this gap, this is the budget deficit, which was in previous, it was estimated as it would be 3,797, but at the end of the budget it was 5,941. So overall budget deficit, which as a percentage of GDP, which was expected to be minus 4.9%, it increased to minus 7% of GDP. So reason being that because of tax evasion, because of optimism of the government, because rich segment of the society or some other people, they are not paying taxes. Our tax structure is very poor. Direct taxes are just 30 to 34% of the taxes. So remaining are 64% are indirect taxes, which are paid by the poor segment of the society. So this is the problem, that our revenues shortfall of the expenditures. So at the end of the day, our gap increases. IMF also objects, and this is the bleeding wound of the economy. We have to beg more. So we have to face the problem of foreign debt. We fail to manage these debts. So our currency depreciates. Inflation comes into the economy, it affects exports and imports, etc. So first objection is that this we should decrease the gap. You should deficit by improving. This is the objection of IMF as well. So we should improve our revenues. That tax potential of Pakistan is more than, I think, $10 trillion per annum, but as per one Ipsos, French-based consultancy report says that more than 3 of 5 sectors of the economy where tax is equal to $310 billion per annum, and here are PPTTT. This is pharmaceutical and property. Pharmaceutical sector waste tax is near about 70 billion, and property mafia near about $90 billion. Likewise, TT, tire, tea, and tobacco. These are the sectors. Tea sector waste tax is equal to 35 billion. Then tobacco almost $80 billion, and lubricants and tires more than $90 billion. And according to Khaja Asif, federal minister, more than $500 billion are weighted in the form of taxes from the economy. So this is the bleeding wound of our economy. So on the one side we have to plug this hole, and on the other side we should rationalize our tax system No doubt many concessions have been given. Government has reduced the taxes, and in this budget, this is good strategy as per Ibn Khaldun's taxation theory, or the Laffer, that as you increase tax rate and number of taxes, after some time your revenues starts falling. So this is good strategy, but IMF experts are of the view that okay, you cannot reduce the taxes, okay, you should impose more taxes, and government has to accept this demand of the IMF. Anyhow, this is up to our expert. Mistake lies with not IMF, because we are bigger, they are not. We need IMF. IMF does not need us. So we have to follow the instruction of IMF. On the other side, expenditures. Expenditure. Why the higher expenditures? On the expenditure side, picture is very depressed. That how much we spend and where we spend. This matters. As per the budget of 2023-24, however, on the expenditure side, we have the current expenditures and development expenditure. Current expenditures means current expenditures mean recurring maintenance expenditure, you can say. Development, which increase our assets. So development base increases, productivity increases. So keep in mind that our development expenditures are just 8% of our total expenditures, which are for 14,460, and size of the development expenditure is just 1,140 billion rupees, 1 trillion rupees just. Whereas non-development expenditures are 92% and its size is 13,320. So this is the fault. This is the man disease or the irksome dimension of the economy, that we allocate 8% of the expenditures for development. So we connive at the development. When there is no economic development, definitely we have to beg more, and same vicious cycle or the circle of the poverty would prevail in the economy. When we break up the current expenditures, on the top we see the interest on the loans, local and international. The size of interest is 7,303 billion rupees, which is 55% of our total expenditures. 55% and then it is defense 1804 billion rupees, which is in terms of percentage, I failed to calculate a big chunk, I think 17%. So it when we add 55, this becomes 72%. These two sectors take of 70 to 75% of the budget. So this is alarming situation. Especially we cannot compromise on the defense, but we can make our defense smart by introducing modern technology, by resolving our issues with India, with the rest of the countries, and we should not interfere with the matters of other countries. So we should follow the footprint of China, that they are having good relationship with the neighboring country. So in this way we can reduce our foreign defense, and likewise we can follow the policy of China and Korea, that every adult should be given military training, and that at the time of any danger, any invasion, you can use this reserve force, and then this is almost at nominal minimal cost. You can do this. And likewise, our interest. This amount with the passage of time has increased. Before this, it was defense which used to get a maximum chunk of the expenditure, and now interest. So our debt and liability size has become $129 billion we are owing to different countries and different institutions. $129 billion, and every year we need almost $5 billion foreign assistance, and we need for all these to meet all debt and liabilities obligations. We need $30 to $35 billion per annum. For this, we have to roll over almost $300,000 million loan with China. We should reschedule our loan with other countries, and we should get rid of IMF financing by doing this. And anyhow, let me go forward, because time, I'm conscious of the time. I think that it takes much time. So but it is ironic that people talk about the pension fund, which is equal to 761 billion rupees, and they say that okay, these are the huge expenditures. Here, let me clear that majority of the pensioners are from defense, and they have not shown this in that defense budget. Instead of that, they are showing this in these pensions. Civilian pensioners budget is in nominal budget. So this should be shown in the defense budget as per, because pay is drawn from that budget. So pension is also drawn from defense budget. So it will come down. But they are thinking that okay, we should do away with the pension reforms are expected. But I think that the nations would not respect their elders. They are not respected. They are not honored across the countries and in the history as well. We should focus on these subsidies. Size of the subsidy in this budget is equal to 1,074 billion rupees. And subsidy to the utility store and to the main amount goes to petroleum and Wabda, which is equal to, I think, $750 billion. So huge man share is going to this. So we should actually switch towards solar energy, green renewable energy. We are having IPPs, very costly energy we are producing, and we still in this budget coal-fired projects. We should renegotiate our agreements, and if possible, and we should go for the renewable energies, and especially we should spend more on the ongoing projects, energy projects. And this government has allocated, this is good point, that this government has allocated huge amount for the completion of Dasu, Mamand, and like projects, and a special grant has been given for the Tajikistan Pakistan transmission line, and Kuala Mahal Suki Kanari projects, electricity transmission. So this is good sign, and in out of development budget it has been suggested that priority should be given regarding allocation to the projects whereby 80% work has been completed. So in this respect moment, the DASU etc. They will get the special fund out of development budget. These are good dimensions. But making reducing taxes, this is not viable. The government should force, and especially the most powerful power of Pakistan should force the people, rich people, they should pay the tax. Otherwise, the integrity, solidarity, or the liberty of this country is at stake. So economic liberty are at stake, and when economically you are weak, you are politically and otherwise you are militarily, you are weak. So this is the dimension. We should you should cut the civil government budget, which is 714 billion, huge amount. We are rearing biggest and largest bureaucracy, and output is that even railway is facing loss, PIA is facing loss, district administration 714. Keep in mind 714 expenditures civil government budget should be reduced. Likewise, government transfers, federal government transfers to the provinces and grants 1464 billion rupees. So when this should be reduced, because how we can reduce so many ministries federal government is having, which exist in provincial government after 18th amendment, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, etc. So they should merge, and likewise in provinces there are so many ministries which should be merged, not only at provincial level, at federal level. So many Ministry of Finance and Planning should be merged, and so many allied departments, they should be merged. Anyhow, health and education should be merged, and to have the austerity program. If I am not wrong, they should because the output or the performance is same whether you are having 2 secretaries or 4 secretaries. So get, instead of 4, only have 1, and performance would remain same anyhow, but it would be economical for the economy. Likewise, high pass of the WABDA, of the FBR and like department should be withdrawn. So there should be emergency, because these are the white elephants for the nation. Dear viewers, to overcome the element of boredom and keep your interest intact, I dare to make the segment of this lecture. So this was the part 1, and now let us switch over to the part 2 for further exploration of its negative and positive dimensions. Thank you.